Have you ever wondered why some people just have a difficult life? Maybe they can't find a partner, maybe they don't have too many friends, or friends just kind of tend to stay away from them after they've been around them for a few months. Well, I'm going to list off some very self-destructing behaviors of some women, which you should avoid if you want to be a high value caliber woman. Now, this relates to everything, whether you want to expand your life to high circles, whether you want to find a good mate or a good partner who actually values you, sees your worth, somebody who respects you and thinks of you with high value, and also going to your friends, business ventures, anything. I have 5 things here for you, and you might be doing one of them. This behavior is very self-destructive. Let's get into it. Before we do, hello, it's me, Karina. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Do subscribe. Hit the like button. I post videos about money, women, and power. And my whole goal is to empower females and help them become better versions of themselves, whether it's in their elegance, their class, their finances. I do have a second business channel where I teach others to begin their own business. You can check it down below. But anywho, we've had these friends or acquaintances that just can't seem to keep a relationship, can't seem to kind of entice a good job of respect, and they're cutting themselves short on respect levels. And I'll explain to you why. It is because you attract what you are. The image of yourself that you internalize is what you portray outside, even if you don't verbally say it. It really shows, and it's in these millisecond snap judgments that people begin to actually feel that. And here's what these are. And if you want to be of high class, please, high caliber, just for people to respect you and to move forward in your life into the better direction, these are all 5 things you should really avoid. Keep them in your head, and even so, get them out of your head. There's no place for them in your life or into anybody's lives, honestly, because these actually are very toxic for the people around. So what are they? The first one is when you admit you have a boring life. Who wants to be with somebody that has a boring life, whether it's a friend or a partner? I get it. We all have those lazy days, but if you just go around kind of saying, you know, nothing's new, nothing's going on, same old, I'm just working and not doing anything, or I don't really have many aspirations, I'm just kind of floating by in life, no one's really going to be excited about that. People want to be around people that give them a spark. You don't have to be an entertainer, that's not what I'm saying, but people gravitate towards people with high visions, with high demands of life, and just kind of a better vision for themselves, not someone who's kind of just chilling, boring around, not really going in any direction. So if you do have a boring life, it's in your full power to change it, and you don't even have to tell people that you have a boring life, okay? Work for something more exciting and don't admit that to people. The second thing, let's talk finances. And that's admitting your finances are not in place. Again, this is something that is in your full control. Really, honestly, there's a lot of smarter decisions that people could be making to increase their finances, male or female, but a lot of the times people don't do that, and on top of that, they just kind of tell everyone that their finances are really bad. They talk about their delayed payments, whether it's on like mortgage or cars, apartment rents, anything, their credit cards building up, all of that. It's not something that you really need to flash around. There's no reason for you to be kind of voluntarily giving that information to people for no reason, right? If your finances are not perfect, do your best to try to fix them. But on top of that, do not let that information seek out, because that shows a weakness, and you don't want to blatantly give people weapons against you. Why would you show your weakness to people? I see this all the time. People complaining about how their finances not being in order. If you need to do that to a close family member or friend, that's one thing. and maybe if you're seeking advice, but there's no reason to rant about it without a solution or without you actually making any changes, because that's just draining to everybody and it makes you look slightly or a lot of irresponsible, or especially if kind of people see you complain about finances, but then you make even more further decisions that deplete your finances irresponsibly, then their opinion of you gets even lower, and that's not something you want. You can say opinion doesn't matter, but it kind of does, because if you're not doing something proactive for your life, it really goes against you. The third thing is when people give themselves a bad image, a poor image, right? Of there's something lacking. And this often comes in many ways, shapes, and forms. Basically, what I want to say is don't ever talk bad about yourself, whether you are unsatisfied about something in your life. There's no reason that everybody needs to know about this, whether it's weight gain or weight loss, or again, like the financial aspects of, or a broken relationship, or even family troubles, anything. There's no, or any struggles you're having in life, venting doesn't really solve problems. Getting constructive criticism does, and actually moving forward and deciding what you need to do to solve those issues. But when you constantly vent and vent and vent without solutions, that's when it becomes problematic, not just for your image, but for all of the friends around you, or acquaintances, friends, family, partners. It becomes very, very draining. And that is a big deterrent for people, because nobody wants to be drained. You're not the only one with problems. Everybody has problems. Maybe they're at a different scale or different perceptions, but everybody goes through things. But if everybody was just pouring out their negative aspects of life, that's not a good way to live life, right? So find, again, it's all about solution seeking and not venting and portraying your image, because it takes a very, very long time to build a strong, powerful image of yourself, but very easily to crumble. And this also includes posting any of this on any types of social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. That's not the place for it at all. The next one, ooh, this one is probably one of the worst of them all, and that is when people victimize themselves and take the victim mentality over life. Oh, I mean, this is a topic in and of itself, but this happens so frequently. Again, it has so many different types of angles, especially this pandemic is a great example to bring up, because people are complaining about their finances and kind of the social distancing, but it's not, you're not the only one with that issue. The whole world is facing this issue. Similarly, the whole world is facing other issues as well. You're not the only one with that issue. So to complain about it in a way that victimizes you from a point of, this is kind of only happening to me, and expecting another person to solve your problem, that's even taking the more aggressive route and kind of blaming other people for their problems. Again, I'm not talking about really tragic cases where people are victims. Even in those cases, it takes a lot of strength for them to combat it, and they do that. You know, really extreme cases, of course, there are victims, but I'm talking about people who kind of are more so complainers and expect other people to solve their problems, and kind of have a negative outlook on people that have their life together, that have solved problems, or are just not complaining about things, because you have no idea what people are dealing with. Many of them that have a fixed good mentality, a woman of high caliber, she's not going to be complaining about those things. She's gonna find solutions, keep it to herself, not damage her image, and just aim for higher things. You're not going to see her talking to Sally, talking to Joe, talking to Marley about all of this, all of her problems, all of her issues, and blaming the government, blaming her friends, blaming her ex-boyfriends, blaming the economy, blaming her parents. That's just not how life works. Life is your full responsibility. Whatever cards you were dealt, people are dealing with it, and victimizing yourself only chips away at your dignity, at your image, and it makes it harder to get things done. So don't do that, okay? And the last thing that a high caliber woman doesn't do is she doesn't victimize herself based on past relationships. I wanted to specify this because unfortunately this is something that comes up so frequently, like with the women community, and I see no reason for it. most people probably had a bad relationship or treated somewhat unjustly based on their opinions. Of course, there's different extremes for it, but there's no need to spill the beans of that to any of your acquaintances, to any of your partners, future partners, past partners. That's nobody's business. And if you accept the victim mentality of, okay, well, this person didn't treat me the way I wanted to be treated, and this happened, and you know, we ended things because he's a bad person, and this happened, and it's so unjust because he cheated on me, or he was doing this and that. It does not matter what the reason is. If he cheated on you, if he wasn't a supportive partner, that stuff is all in the past. If you bring that up into your current relationships, that's going to give a signal to the man or woman that you're dating that it is acceptable for you to be treated that way. Because if you have allowed it in the past, you're probably going to allow it in the future. Now, I'm not saying the person you date will be the same level as the past person you date, but that's the perception you give off. And subconsciously, that's just how it is in nature. When we see somebody being a victim and accepting the victim mentality, that is seen as a weakness. Perhaps we're not making this decision or deduction consciously, but it's something that is in our DNA for centuries and centuries, just based off of survival. And it's an instant decision that comes into our head like that. And do you really want somebody to be viewing you like that and potentially not giving you the respect you deserve? Everyone has some type of thing that happened to them in the past, but you live and you learn and you improve and you become a better person if you don't do any of the 5 things I talked about. And there's no reason sharing the low lives of your life with people, right? Share the high lives. You can say, okay, well, you know, I really want them to know that this is not the way that things are meant to go, but that also is in a sense cherry picking, right? You don't want to walk up to a new partner and say, hey, you know what? I hate cheaters, so you better not be a cheater. I hate people that are kind of irresponsible, so you better not be irresponsible. I hate people that are animal abusers, so don't be an animal abuser. I mean, there's so many no's that you don't want from a partner or from anything in life, to be honest. So there's no reason to verbalize them that way, because what's the point? If you just cherry pick all the no's, it can go on indefinitely, right? So that's kind of a short point of that. Anywho, these are all 5 things that high caliber growing ladies should not be doing at all. It's almost normalized because it's all over the place. It's on social media. It's all these you know, girls' night. That's all they talk about. Why not with the girls? Let's just complain and bash on everybody from the past. But that type of energy is not going to get you anywhere in life. It's just bringing more negative things to yourself. Make peace and part with anything negative in your past and focus on how you can become the better version of yourself. And that's what this entire channel is about. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Do like it and subscribe for more. And check out all my links down below. If you're looking for more financial freedom, I have a course and I have a second business channel how you can start your own brands. Financial, actually in my women's group on Facebook, Into a Milli Lady Club, that's the #1 concern with females, is they want to start their own business. So I have the tools for that down below if you are curious. Anyways, I will see you in my next video.